Hi guys, how are you? Welcome to Rise with Gladys Modoni. This is a place where we learn, we practice, and we grow. Thank you so much for coming back to my channel. And if you're a new subscriber, welcome home. This is where we learn together. I sit in the place where I am not an expert, but I am always hungry for knowledge and willing to learn together with you and willing to also accept from you. So if you hear something that you need to add on, you are allowed, and you can always do that in the comment section below. And if you've not subscribed, please hit that subscription box. Help me get to 1,000 subscribers. It really will support my channel, and this information will get to more people because I believe it is insightful and it will help you make better decisions in life. So today we are going to talk about some misconceptions about money. Yes, and so the very first one is that money is evil. You know, there's this verse I'm going to read to you. It's in First Timothy chapter 6 and verse 10. It says, "For the love of money is the roots of all kinds of evil." Some people, uh, some people eager for money have wandered off from the faith and pierce themselves with many griefs. So the first misconception that people always have about money, and mostly as Christians, the children of God, is because of that verse, which says the love of money is the root of all evil. But I want you to notice it didn't say money is the root of all evil. It actually said the love of money. So it's your perception about money that can become evil. It's not the money itself. Money is very important. Even in progressing the gospel, we need money, to do those missions and to have the church running. We need money. So money in itself is not evil. It's your attitude towards money that can be evil. And more money doesn't make a person evil. What happens, it amplifies what was already inside them that they could not express without the money. You will think that, someone has become proud because they had money. A husband or a wife has now begun cheating because they have money. No, they actually had that trait inside them, but they could not be able to execute it without money. But now, since they have money, we have gotten to see that trait that is in them. It's not the money that is evil, it's the attitude and the character of people that can be evil. So many people have shied away from money because they think that money is evil. Of course, with the increase of money and with the increase of wealth, you have to keep learning on how to steward that wealth. You have to keep learning on how to handle different levels of wealth. There are levels of wealth that God will not allow you to get into, because even you, if you're a parent and you have a child, there are things you can't trust your child with because they are a child. But when they grow to be a teenager, there are things you can trust them with. And then when they grow to become adults, there are things you can trust them with. So it's the same with God. He will allow us to walk in different levels in accordance to our maturity. But really, money is not evil. It's the love of money that is evil. The second one is that money is key to happiness, or money is the only source of happiness. The book of Ecclesiastes, chapter 5, verse 10 to 11, you can read it. It says, the more money you have, the more people you have to eat the money. What does that mean? It may not be necessarily people. It may be the more money you have, you get a car. You didn't have a car. Now, the more money you have a car. So it means you'll need to maintain that car and you'll need to fuel that car. You are living in a smaller house. Now you're living in a bigger house. Of course, those things are good, and all of us want to progress in life. But money is not the only source of happiness, because there are so many people who are wealthy by the standards you would measure them with, but they are not happy, because there are many reasons why a human being could be unfulfilled. There are many reasons why a human being could be unhappy. So money is not the only source of happiness. Sometimes we trade in today for the future. for the future expectations. What do I mean? I do not mean you're not supposed to sacrifice today for something you get in the future. What I mean is, don't lose today. Ukisema, I won't be happy today, uh, and I won't be contented and happy with what I have in the expectation of tomorrow. And you are thinking, ule mtu mi naonanga in a higher status, that one is happier than I am. Money is not always the source of all happiness. And we have seen many people who are depressed. And when they come, you are wondering, why is this one depressed? They seem to have everything together. But really, there would be another reason that is making them unhappy. The other thing is, uh, all debt is bad. We are not supposed to get into debt, into uncontrollable debt, but not all debt is bad. And this is why sometimes, especially for people who are in business, for you to expand, you'll need maybe some financials. And that will make your business better. Because let's say, for example, you're running a hotel and you are short of some supplies. That will make your customers walk away. But if you can get a debt somewhere and be sure that you'll be able to stock your shop, and let's say the interest for that debt is like 8%, and you're able to make profit that is 9%. What does it mean? You'll be able to pay off the interest, your 7%, and the 2% comes to you. So not all debt is bad, but debt should be manageable. You should be able to know where you should take calculated debt. Mostly, debt should be taken to places where you're going to reinvest that money, not to take debt for the purpose of consumption. Because when you take it, I know sometimes times can be hard and you're taking debt for the purposes of consumption, but the best debt is the one that you're taking for the purposes of reinvestment, and you're able to make interest that is higher than what your debtor is asking from you, and then you take the top part, and you give them back their interest. The other thing that I learned is that a high income does not always mean that you're wealthy. What do we mean? You can have a high income and still have a high lifestyle. So what does that mean? It's like hand to mouth. You get the high income, you eat it. You get the high income, you pay your expenses, and you have no money. Your high income does not always translate to higher net worth. What do I mean? Because when we are calculating the net worth of someone, we are calculating their investments. So if you have high income but it is never invested, then it's never going to translate to you being wealthy. You are just a high income earner and a high lifestyle liver. And then the last one is that money has wings. You have heard people saying that money has wings. It's not that money has wings, it is your spending habits. Whenever you get money, it's like you get it and then the next time it has flied away from you. You need to question your spending habits. You need to question your learned intelligence about money, the things you believe about money, and you also have to question your emotional intelligence about money, because our spending habits could be emotional. It could be the things you saw as you were growing up. Probably you grew up in a place where there was scarce resources. That could do two things in you. Ya kwanza, you could say, now it's time for me to enjoy, since I didn't enjoy when I was younger. So you tend to use all your money. Whenever you try to get that shoe that you never wore, get those clothes which you never wore. I'm not trying to say you shouldn't do that. I'm only trying to say that that should not be done in excess. It should be calculated. Another thing that could happen, if you grew in a place where resources were scarce, you could be having a scarce mentality where you're always thinking, money is not there. So as I was studying, I got to learn that people who have scarce mentality even struggle with hoarding money. Like, hoarding means you're keeping it, you're not willing to let go of money. Like, you have money in your bank account, but you can't invest that money. You're just holding it and saying, hey, tomorrow might be a bad day. Of course, that is true that tomorrow might be a situation that will need your money, and of course you need liquidity. Liquidity means the easiness of having cash money. You would need your liquidity, but don't do it in excess. You see, all of these things you're saying, it's like there's a certain balance line above which you're not supposed to go. So you try. And again, another thing is, if you grew up in a place where there was no financial struggle, your mind is always that there's always money. So you're always spending the money, and you never know about tomorrow, when maybe that source of income will no longer be there. And even in this situation, one of the people I was learning from reminded me of the story of Joseph. You know, Joseph really saved Egypt, because imagine the 7 years of abundance of Egypt. You know, kama wange, they would have had the mindset of, this is our year of abundance, and never had known they are supposed to save and misuse those resources. That nation would have gone down. Can you imagine a nation having a drought for 7 years? But because there was someone who God had blessed, to understand that this is our season of plenty, and we need to save because a season of scarcity is coming. And so he was able to save that nation. And that nation also became a place for many people to run to, because God blessed Joseph to understand and to interpret that dream of Pharaoh. So we need to question what we are hearing, what we know about money, and question our spending habits. As I say this, I'm also saying it to myself, because there are places where I will sit and I will question, why are you spending money like that? Or why do you feel you shouldn't do that? All things should be done, but it should be in a balance. So those are the 5 misconceptions that I learned about money, and I hope they are helpful to you. And which others do you know? If you know any misconception, please drop it down here. Let us discuss in the comment section, and let us grow together. So until next time, bye bye.